Greetings, this is Paul, your Pacific Northwest trail guide. I want to help you pick your next trail to explore, so let's check this one out. Just across the Columbia River from Multnomah Falls sits a high valley and a network of trails around Archer Mountain. This guide takes you up into that area to Scott Point, which offers great views of both sides of the gorge. The trip is only 2.7 miles round trip to the point and back, and you'll ascend about 1,165 feet in the process. While the trails are in the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest, they're maintained by volunteers, and you'll not find status for them on Forest Service channels. When traveling this trail, you'll want to keep in mind that you will likely encounter noxious plants along the trail, such as cow's parsnip and poison oak. They both often grow near or on the trail. You also might appreciate having some binoculars along when you're up on the point and trying to see across the river or up into the Columbia Falls natural area. The start for this hike at High Valley Trailhead is not far off Highway 14 in Washington. Traveling east from Vancouver, you turn left onto Smith Cripe Road and just follow it for about 1.5 miles until it dead ends at a small parking area. At the far end of the lot, you'll find the unmarked trail heading up a hill and past a gate. Follow it up to High Valley. This old road that you follow into High Valley once led up to High Valley Commune, which shut down in the 1990s. The site of it can still be explored if you have time to look around here. 24 people chipped in for the $156,000 to buy the site in 1971. But eventually, the community dissolved and the land was sold to the U.S. Forest Service. Not everyone wanted to sell, though. One of the original members, Phoenix Reed, was quoted in an Oregonian article saying, "This is my home and the spiritual aspect of the place. I get up every morning, look out the window and gasp. It's my answer, my security. It's where I want to die as well as where I want to live." After passing by High Valley, the trail takes us to a junction where we turn off onto Archer Mountain Trail and down to a crossing over Archer Creek. After that, a fairly gradual incline takes us over to the east until we hit some steeper terrain and turn north to start up the side of Archer Mountain. We then pass a smaller viewpoint before continuing on up at a more gradual incline to a spur that dead ends at Scott Point. Drop off the road to the commune site in the valley here to head towards Archer Mountain Trail. After following the trail past a huge section of blackberry bushes, you reach the Archer Mountain Trail and turn right onto it. This is a more laid-back section of the trail that takes you gradually down to the creek. Enjoy the lush and sheltered stroll down. Eventually, you reach the creek where a makeshift bridge aids your crossing. After you cross and ascend up to the next fairly level area, from here on you'll frequently come across noxious plants along the trail. The trail also begins to get steeper and rockier as you approach this junction with a small trail that heads off to the east. Keep left and continue your climb up the steep hillside. After passing this small creek by the trail, you emerge into a more exposed area and continue up with views of the gorge expanding before you. As you climb higher, a lonely tree can be seen above sitting out on a point. This is not Scott Point, but a nice place to rest before making your last push to it. A metal cable is tethered along the trail here to assist up to this viewpoint. Continue on through the variety of wildflowers along the trail if visiting in early summer. The trail awaits you for a bit more climbing up to the point, but at a more forgiving grade. Eventually, you reach this junction where the Archer Mountain Trail continues at a sharp turn back and to the right. Here we continue straight to follow the spur to Scott Point. After going downhill a bit and winding through a few trees, you emerge onto Scott Point with a wall of basalt cliffs in front of you. High Valley looms below, and if you brought your binoculars or have better vision than me, you might be able to spot Multnomah Falls off across the river. It's mostly dry during the summer, but if you are here in the wet season, you should also be able to spot Archer Falls off to the right up the gorge too. When you're ready to head back, we'll be heading back the same way for this in and out hike, being sure to avoid those other trails on the way back. If you're up for some extra miles, going to the top of Archer Mountain might be fun. But otherwise, keep to the right here to stay on the route back. As you return to that first viewpoint, it's time to get ready for the steep decline. Take care on sections where loose rock has been added to shore up the trail. It's easy to slide. The steep descent comes to an end, and you pass the small trail, keeping to the right to turn west towards Archer Creek. Finally, you reach the creek, where likely many mosquitoes await you, along with the picturesque scene. Time for trail ratings. There are no major terrain challenges on the trail, but I rate it 2 out of 5 for the steep rocky sections of trail to contend with. This is a mild elevation and only short periods of exposure, but I give it a rating of 2 for elements as well, in consideration of the noxious plants found trailside. The length is a bit short for a day hike, so it gets 2 boots. And it's a decent amount of elevation to gain for a short hike like this, so I rate it 3 for climb. That's a wrap for this edition of Pacific Northwest Trail Guide. I hope I have or will soon help you pick your next trail to explore. I scouted this trail in June of 2023, but trails are always evolving. If you pick this trail and encounter any changes people might like to know about, please help out your fellow explorers by sharing in the comments on this video. I've shown some of the beautiful sights of this trail in what feeble capacity video can render. A picture may be worth 1,000 words, but an experience with all your senses cannot even be conveyed in pictures or video. So don't take my word for it. Get out there and see it for yourself.